Buckingham Palace courtyard, 11 a.m. The cobblestones gleamed under the late morning sun. Tourists flocked to the black gates like bees to a hive, raising phones, laughing, posing. Street vendors hawked flags and ice creams. It looked like any other day. But for Guardsman Damien Shaw, 34, it was never just another day. He stood still, ceremonial rifle in hand, expression locked in the signature mask of duty. His red tunic was spotless, every brass button polished to perfection. His mind? Alert. What no one saw behind the stillness was the experience. Afghanistan, Syria, Balkans. Shaw had served, survived, and carried ghosts behind the calm. You're not here to pose. You're here to protect. Until the day you need to prove it, his former captain once said. 12:30 p.m. A soft buzz grew beyond the gate. Protesters. At first only 5 or 6, holding signs, wearing T-shirts that read, "Justice for Forgotten Vets." Their chants weren't loud, not yet. Palace security observed without concern. Among them, a man in his 40s, hooded, silent, wearing a military-issue rucksack. No one noticed him, but Shaw's eyes, without moving, clocked him. Postures too squared, hands too steady. That's no civilian. Ex-military. Maybe active. Something's off. The hooded man moved closer to the front line. He didn't chant. He didn't carry a sign. He just watched. Inside his bag, a sealed envelope, a photograph of 2 young soldiers, and a letter marked, "To any guard who still remembers what we lost." His name, Leon Graves, former SAS, dishonorably discharged. PTSD. His younger brother, killed by a roadside bomb during a mission gone wrong. He wasn't here to hurt anyone. He was here to be seen. But when the guards didn't respond, something inside him broke. 1:06 dopeher. Without warning, Leon stepped forward. 1 foot over the ceremonial rope line. Guards stiffened. Tourists gasped. A whistle blew. Then he ran, straight toward the gates, toward the Queen's Guard. Phones shot up. Screams erupted. Children shrieked. Leon's hand went to his bag. And Shaw moved. Leon Graves sprinted across the open courtyard. "Hey!" a tourist shouted, filming. Phones raised. Some ducked. Others froze. Security hesitated. Protocol required the Queen's Guard to react first. Shaw moved. With trained instinct, he stepped forward and turned, rifle shifting to defensive carry. In 2 powerful strides, he closed the gap. Leon reached into his bag, fast, jerky, wild. He's not trained for this. He's not thinking straight. Shaw surged forward, slammed his shoulder into Leon's torso. Thud. The 2 men hit the ground hard. Leon's hood fell, his face visible, pale, sweaty, panicked. Tourists gasped. A mother shielded her child. "He's got something!" Shaw's knee pinned Leon. "Drop the bag!" he barked. Leon grunted. "It's just a letter. Let me—" 2 palace guards rushed in. One restrained Leon's arms while Shaw tore open the bag. No explosives, no weapon, no tech, just a photo. A letter, a military ID. It was a memorial. The crowd didn't know that yet. They saw a guard tackle a man. They saw a bag. They assumed the worst. Tension ignited like fire. One man in the crowd shouted, "Police brutality!" Another screamed, "He's a vet!" I saw the badge. Two protesters began pushing through. A small riot started to form. Shaw stood and turned to block incoming protesters. "Stay back," he ordered. "This is not what it looks like." But it was too late. The narrative had fractured. Everyone believed something different. Local police arrived. Barricades reinforced. Protesters pushed. Tourists shouted. Phones streamed. Leon sat cuffed, head down, breathing heavy. "Why'd you run?" Shaw demanded. "Why the hell would you rush the gate like that?" Leon didn't answer. He just looked up and said, "Because I knew no one would listen unless I looked like a threat." Shaw crouched next to him. "You were 3 seconds from being shot," he growled. Leon handed him the photo. 2 soldiers. One of them was Shaw. The other, Leon's brother, Private James Graves. "I was the mission Overwatch," Leon said. "I sent him in. He didn't come back. I just wanted you to know." Shaw froze. He hadn't seen that photo in 12 years. Sudden flashback hits Shaw like a train. 2009, Helmand Province. Gunfire. Screams. Shaw in full kit, dragging James behind cover. James bleeding. Shaw yelling, "Stay with me!" Explosion. Dust. Blackout. Shaw waking up in the medevac chopper. James didn't make it. Back to present. Shaw's face shifts. Not rage, not duty, just pain. Palace superiors arrive in black SUVs. Media begins to swarm. A reporter shouts, "Is the guard authorized to use force against unarmed veterans?" Did he stop a terrorist or silence a protester? Shaw answers no one, but the pressure mounts. Leon, still cuffed, whispers, "I thought if one of you remembered him, maybe we weren't forgotten." Leon slumps to the ground, exhausted. Cameras still flash. Shaw takes the photo, stands, and addresses the crowd, not with words, but by holding the photo high. Tourists fall silent. Reporters lower microphones. "His name was James Graves," Shaw says finally. "A soldier, a friend, a hero." The noise stops. Even birds fall silent. He died in service. His brother came today looking for remembrance, not revenge. The courtyard slowly emptied. Reporters gone. The protest dispersed. The sun was setting. Leon was still sitting on the ground, his hands no longer cuffed. His head was bowed. He had taken his bag back. But he still hadn't handed the letter. Shaw approached. "You risked your life to hand that to me. Why?" Leon was silent. Then he raised his head. "Because I didn't know who else would understand." Shaw opened the letter, a simple note, handwritten. To any guard still standing, my brother died next to one of you. If he meant anything, please remember him by standing for what matters. Not just still, but proud. Shaw's throat tightened. He put the photo back in his pocket. He folded the letter. James, I remember. Wellington Barracks, Inquiry Room. Shaw is standing in the middle of the room. 3 senior officers are seated in front of him. Guardsman Shaw, one begins. You tackled a civilian, without verbal warning, without direct orders. Shaw responds, he didn't come as a civilian. He came carrying a battlefield. There is a silence. The parliamentary representative speaks. And what was in the bag? Shaw, a memory and a message. A long pause. Then, we find no fault in your actions. In fact, we commend your judgment under uncertainty. An officer smiles slightly. Sometimes the best guards are the ones who don't stand still. The next day, Shaw is back on duty, but this time someone is watching him. Leon, in civilian clothes, outside the crowd. He doesn't wave. He doesn't approach. He's just there, not as a soldier, as a brother. And when their eyes meet, Shaw winks. Leon just nods. Not every threat comes with a weapon. Sometimes it comes with memory, with guilt, with silence. And sometimes strength isn't in pulling a trigger, but in recognizing a face from your past and choosing to reach forward instead of strike. Shaw is on duty in front of Buckingham, but now there's a license plate behind him. In memory of Private James Graves and all the silent soldiers we still carry. As the camera slowly pulls away, Shaw's shadow falls on the ground. Straight, clear, strong. Not just a guard, a man, a friend, a memory.